I'm here with Big Game. Thank you so much, James Worthy, for being here.
It's a pleasure, Carrie, finally.
I know, finally, as a fan and just obviously as someone who knows the Lakers inside out, you're sitting here, it's childhood coming to real life, and we're just going to chat about our Lakers, if you will, because you still call them our Lakers, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's all I know.
Okay, so our Christmas Day matchup, Clippers-Lakers, what can we expect?
Well, that's kind of a cross-town rivalry. Clippers are playing, okay this year. The Lakers seem to, rise to the occasion when they play the Clippers. Now, Lakers been struggling of late. They're on their way. They're chipping away at it. So you can expect, some explosive play. It's always electric. Two teams, vying for those bragging rights that day. It's a big game. The whole world's going to be watching.
And then Christmas Day games in general. Like, you sit in front of the TV all day with your food ready to watch. What was it like for you back in the day playing on Christmas Day?
Well, you knew people were watching.
Yeah.
You knew more of an audience than usual because everybody's home for Christmas or the holidays. Yeah. And usually it's a big game. Lakers, Detroit, Lakers, Celtics. And you look forward to it. It's just pumped up advertising, for a whole month. Time to go to work. All
right, so you bring me there. I wasn't going to go there. Yes, I was. Let's go back to Showtime Lakers. And you mentioned Lakers Detroit, Lakers Celtics. Those were rivalries. Do you look at any teams today, two teams, either from the East and the West, and they remind you of that intense rivalry?
The last one I saw probably was Lakers Sacramento. Back when Shaq and Kobe was playing. It wasn't East Coast, West Coast, but it was intense. And, players don't stay together long enough. It's like when you have guys that stay together for 5, 6, 7 years, you build something. And so you don't have that Boston, Laker rivalry. When they play, they bring up the old, Showtime, Larry Bird, Magic. It's nothing current that sticks. I remember Garnett and Kobe, they had a little thing going. But there's not any major rivalries that I can think of, that stand and stick.
I don't and you say because they don't play for long enough, but you said something during the commercial break. Would Magic at any given time go play with Larry Bird, or would Larry Bird come play with Magic back in the day?
Imagine it. I couldn't imagine, Isaiah saying, hey, MJ,
let's
come
get
to
together.
Detroit. But I don't know, times have changed, the money has changed. Guys want to win. I think Garnett was the last guy that was loyal to Minnesota. He stayed there a long time before he went to Boston. So, and then guys said, Then you had, LeBron in Miami, back to Cleveland. So guys want to win because it's their legacy that's on the line. And that's what they're thinking about. I don't know, the team doesn't seem to stand out as much.
James Worthy, 3-time NBA champion, Finals MVP in '88, I believe. And
good year.
It was a good year for you, and you have had a storied career. You were part of the Showtime Lakers. You were right over here in Inglewood. You built the Forum. If you had to look back, and my colleague David Lloyd, he suggested this question, the best moment of your career?
The best moment of my career in totality would be the day I got a scholarship to college. That was hot. My mom and dad worked their butts off to put my two older brothers. I was like, done. And then when I made it to the NBA, that was an extra bonus. Everything that came after that was just kind of like a bonus. I had no idea that it was going to flourish. But I would have to say, beating the Celtics for the first time in 1985, it was the first time the Lakers had ever done that. I think the Celtics had beaten the Lakers, 7 or 8 times. So we knew we were not only representing ourselves, but we were representing all those guys that never won. Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Chick Hearn. So I would have to, go with that one.
Something special, the rivalry that started then, the dynasty, if you will. I asked Magic this question, and it was started some time ago. Starting 5 of the Showtime Lakers beat the starting 5 of the Warriors, or the starting 5 of the Cavs?
I have to give us the edge.
Why?
Because the style of play. I think now you find guys to go to college for 1 year or come right out of high school. They don't get the theory and the science of the game down. There's a lot of drill work there, and it's just life in general that you pick up in college. So when you come to the NBA, you have a lot of talent, and you have a lot of athleticism, and you're big and you're stronger, but I think what happens in a 7-game series is that at game 2 or 3, it comes down to, theory and science. There's got to be 5 options off of one play. And now you have a lot of one-on-one. The 3 ball is big. The defense was played a lot differently. And we got to play the way we had to play.
Different.
You know?
Yeah,
so
it's different.
yeah, and then you had Magic at point guard. He's 6'9", Kareem, the skyhook. We had a Bob McAdoo. We had the Minister of Defense, Michael Cooper. We just had, we just had a lot of flavor.
So you have to give you all the edge.
Absolutely.
Magic did as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so currently, if you look at the stars of the league, you look at a Kevin Durant, a LeBron James, a Steph Curry, a Russell Westbrook. Of the stars that are currently in the league, who could run with you guys?
Well, I think LeBron, he has the mindset, he has the skills, the discipline. Guys who are committed to the game and the history of the game, and they bring that forward and attach it to their game. Russell Westbrook, he's an animal. I mean, he could go play. He could go play for the Dallas Cowboys right now. He's that type of athlete. I like guys like Caron Butler, who kind of, he's tough. Guys who can play on both ends. Clay Johnson. Then there's a lot of guys, that would get exposed.
Like?
Like a lot of people look at, guys like Steph Curry and they say, how do you stop him? Well, he has to play like if he has to go down and guard like a guy like Magic Johnson, or we put a lineup into play. And I'm not saying Steph wouldn't flourish because he has skills too, but we made guys defend, and Pat Riley was really good at matching up to make sure that, and that's the state of the game then. We used to take away your weaknesses more, and now they depend on the three more than the two, and they just kind of run and go. It was a lot more strategic back then.
Strategic, and we would expose you and show your weaknesses. All right. Well, speaking of, we need you to hang out because you are the inspiration for what we call our top five. We do a daily top five. Okay. So we're doing the top five James.
With the Z's.
And David, what about Big Game? Impressive, no?
Absolutely. He's certainly in my top five list of top five James. Now, he's just a qualification. No Jims or Jimmies here. It's got to be James, okay?
No. Okay, go.
Edgerrin James. Guy with the gold teeth from Immokalee, Florida. Edge was All-Pro 4 times in the Colts Ring of Honor. He was so important to his team. They gave him a ring even though he had left Indy the prior offseason. Number 4, James Lofton, H-O-F. The man could blow the top off the D, averaged 20 yards or more per catch in 5 seasons, 14,000 receiving yards. James Lofton, number 4 on my list. I've got James Worthy at number 3. Of course, James Worthy has a bunch of rings, as you guys went through. 3 of them with the Lakers. So smooth, so clutch. What a force offensively. 52% from the field in his career. So, James, I got you there at 3. Number 2, I'm going LeBron James, of course. I don't have to sort of explain why he's on the list. I do have to explain why he's number 2 on the list.
Go ahead, my friend.
My number 1
Go ahead.
is Dr. James Naismith. Because if he doesn't invent the game of basketball for those guys at the YMCA, then LeBron is a wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, right? James Naismith, number 1.
Okay.
He's not just in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame's named after him. It's the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. So I had him number 1.
Okay, I see you're making your case for the judge. You're making it hard for the judge. I see what you're doing there, and you're explaining it very well, David. Well, here comes this whole Jim James. No one told me that, David.
What?
FYI. Yeah, no. So I'm just going to give you my number 5, James Harrison.
Okay.
Plays for the Steelers. You know that very well.
That's fine.
So
that works.
That works. It's a James, is it not? Okay, so for me, number 4, I did Dr. James Naismith at 4. I understand that the Basketball Hall of Fame is named after him. He invented the game, so on and so forth. But I still feel there are other people who furthered the game. And by saying that, none other than Big Game. He's with me at number 3, sitting right here. He should have been number 1, but I didn't want to be accused of being a homer. So I tried to be an objective journalist. Number 2 for me is James Nathaniel Brown. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
AKA Jim Brown.
Jim Brown?
No. His born name, David, his given name that his mother gave him.
I want to put James Thorpe on my list. I've got an edit. I got James Thorpe on the list now.
Okay, fine. And then number 1 is LeBron James. I knew you would come with that. I knew you would come with a way to disqualify me, David.
Yes.
Why do you do that?
I try to DQ you every single day. It very rarely works, but I've got to try.
Okay, so do you want to talk about the top 5, James, or do you have your own list?
I don't have my own because mine would be a mixture. But, Carrie, I like your list because, not only was James Brown, one of the greatest running backs, but he's also a hell of a lacrosse player as well.
Oh, look at you.
In Syracuse.
Okay.
And not only that, he was strong in the civil rights movement, with the economic movement in the community.
Sure.
He was hot. And then you got me at number 3. I like that. James Naismith, I would add to both lists, I would add maybe James Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You got to have James Brown.
So who won?
Carrie, you won for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no question.
right.
Sorry.